Ciao tutti and welcome back to my channel Fly High. In this episode I'm gonna give you 8 top proactive tips for learning a new language and how to apply each one of them, build your self-confidence and reach fluency. And yes, my channel is focused on Italian, but these tips can be applied to virtually any language, and I say this as an avid language learner myself. Just a reminder, I've prepped subtitles beside English in Italian, French, Spanish and Russian if you need them. Tip number 1, right when you start, don't focus solely or start only with grammar, because that might be the biggest hindrance, the biggest obstacle right at the beginning, and you might not be so initially inclined with grammar, and you might lose interest. You might feel discouraged if you don't understand parts of it, and then you might feel like you're not getting anywhere, or you are like getting stuck in the rules, and then you might give up the whole language altogether. What can we do instead? How can we apply this tip? Focus on a combination of conversational phrases. So you can do grammar, but combine it with conversational phrases, simple everyday vocabulary, even survival sentences in the everyday world, or high frequency words, high frequency verbs that can get you to understand how the structure of the language works, and can get you to get a grasp of the language. And when you in your brain, you can say things like simple sentences. Let's say if you're studying Italian, I go to the bathroom, vado al bagno, I am eating, mangio. Simple sentences like this is a table, questo è un tavolo. So you're thinking, wow, you're feeling good with yourself as well. So it gives you as well that confidence that is really important for a beginner, that you think, okay, I can translate this, I can say these simple things. So you're feeling good, and that pushes you farther, and that's very, very important right at the beginning. Tip number 2, saying and repeating sentences and words out loud when you study. It's extremely important that you hear the sound of your own voice speaking the language right from the beginning, as the major block that most language learners have is to be able to speak and to build that confidence. So if you start right away, then the brain gets, not only you improve your pronunciation, your intonation, but you're getting accustomed to hearing your voice saying it, and as well you build that sort of like being natural and at ease speaking your target language. So that's extremely important. So how do we do this? Let's say that you're walking down the street and you look, no one's around. Just speak, just say things out loud. And doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe say something that you've studied or something that you've read and that comes into your brain, you want to practice it, and just go for it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. The main aim for you is not perfection, but practicing. That's really important right at the beginning. In terms of resources that you can use, this deserves a whole different episode altogether, as there are so many you can use. But I would say a language learning app can really work wonders. And how do we apply this? An honorable mention, I've used a few apps, but what I would mention is Duolingo. It's got many faults, this app, but it's also got a lot of advantages. And the main thing is that it helps you understand how to build sentences in your target language. And as well, it works like a game, so it keeps you motivated. You want to not lose your streak. You want to just keep going a little bit each day and build up that way. And as well, yes, some sentences are hilarious, like let's say the cat prepares a sandwich, sentences that don't really make sense and that don't really you won't really use in real life, but at least you know how the structure works and how the sentence is built. So you can apply the sentence, the cat prepares a sandwich, as how I prepare a sandwich, right? So yes, so it can really help you right from the beginning. And as well, you don't have, if you don't like the competitiveness of Duolingo, that you're just really doing the app only to make it into the leaderboard, you can go into offline mode, so you can study at your own pace, you can really learn, you can take your time, so you can do that, or you can get to the Diamond League, which is the last league, and then after that you're safe, you've done it, you reached the top, and then you go after that into offline mode so that you learn at your own pace. The main thing, the main advantage that a language learning app like Duolingo or different apps have is that it keeps you in the habit of doing something every day to prove it to yourself you can do it. It's for your own pride, really, and it's making you feel like you're ticking boxes. So it's really, really important when just beginning to learn a language. Tip number 4, focus on topics that are interesting to you rather than on topics that you feel obliged to learn or that you feel you're supposed to learn, because you can go to those topics later on. So how do we apply this? Let's say that you have a particular interest in art. So go explore it. Start out with learning art materials in your target language. Say how to say you're learning Italian, how to say pen, pencils, crayons, pastels, and so on. Oil paints. Then you go on to mediums of art like sculpture, paintings, and all that. Then you build up vocabulary that way, and you might get the experience of actually visiting a museum in Italy. And at that point, you're gonna put it all into practice, and you're gonna see how the improvements basically, and you're gonna feel very confident as well about yourself and your learning. So that's really, really important. And besides on this kind of experience, you're also branching out to other topics, because at the museum, what are you going to learn? You're going to learn, for instance, how to buy a map, how to ask for directions, where is room number 3, where can I find 18th century paintings, for instance. So you see how the whole experience is going to help you building up on other types of vocabularies and structures. So it's really, really important. Tip number 5, think about conversation prompts, words, sentences, anything that comes to your mind in your target language during your daily life. So how do we apply this? Let's say that we're queuing up, we want to see a movie, okay? We're queuing up outside the cinema, and we are thinking, okay, how do we say movie? Let's say we study in Italian. How do we say movie? How do we say crowd? How do we say tickets? How do we say get a seat or get a ticket or buy some popcorn, basically? So you're going to think of all that, and then you're going to say, okay, I know how to say movie, it's a film. I know how to say tickets, biglietti. I know how to say crowd, la folla. Okay, so you're going to put it all in. Okay, so I know these words, separate words like that. And now let's put them into a sentence. Can I get 2 tickets for the 8:30 p.m. Movie, please? Posso avere 2 biglietti per il film delle 8:30? Okay, so you see, it's wow, boom, honestly. And this is to keep your interest up, to improve your active learning, and to concrete that part of your brain to ask questions, to recognize what your brain wants to learn. Tip number 6, and this might be an unpopular one, so some of you guys might not agree, let me know in the comments what you think, is that I think that language learning is like an investment. And as such, you might get to a point where free resources are all great, but you might need to spend a little bit of money to push you further. So you guys will ask me, why? What do you mean by it? Well, what do I mean? Is that some of us are really good at self-teaching ourselves language that we want to learn, or learning independently all by ourselves, and that's great. But some of us, especially if we had never learned language before, we may feel we need more structure. We may feel we're getting stuck, or we don't know even where to start. Okay, so or we're feeling like we're making the same mistakes and we don't know how to improve. And at that point, the help of a professional, a person that is qualified, a tutor, anyone, or a paid course can help you improve. And that way, it's going to push you further. So yes, that's something to keep in mind, that sometimes, yes, that's the intention and the time investment. So that's an investment in time, an investment in intention, but at times an investment in money is also needed, especially to maybe, you might only need maybe a few lessons here and there to fill in a few gaps that you have, or to correct those mistakes early on, because think about it, it's like going to the gym. It's if you keep doing you're doing these exercises and you don't have anyone to show you, you don't know, am I doing them right? Am I, if you start doing the wrong form, for instance, you start making those mistakes, it's gonna do you more harm than good in the long run. And the same is true for a language. If you start picking up the wrong habits in learning your language, what's going to happen is that it's going to be more becoming more fossilized into your brain, and it's going to get harder and harder to get rid of those mistakes down the line in the longer term. Well, if you get corrected early on, then it's like gonna be a lot easier to abandon like those mistakes and to improve from them. Tip number 7, if you're learning Italian, for instance, learn and sing your favorite Italian songs. If you're doing French, learn and sing your favorite French songs. So what's going to happen is that you're getting used to the sound of your target language, and as well the brain picks up quite advanced vocabulary and structures that are contained in these songs, and as well it absorbs them a lot faster through singing. It's really naturally absorbed. And let's see a practical example here. If you remember when you were in kindergarten, when you used to memorize and pretty much those the nursery rhymes, how long did you remember them for? I bet you still remember them, all of them, because they were like so easily absorbed. So the same is true for Disney songs. Disney songs are great. They're translated in pretty much all languages imaginable, and they're so catchy and easy to digest, and they stay with you for hours. Tip number 8, when you feel bored, change it up rather than give it up. Your brain is telling you that it wants something new. So on those days, just download a book, watch a movie, grab anything that can inspire you back. And if you're still feeling a little bit off, don't overthink it. Everyone has it. And on those days, just revise, just read your notes, and on the day after, you're gonna come back much stronger. So guys, these were my top 8 proactive tips for learning a new language. Let me know in the comment section if you're already practicing some of these tips, or if you have your own methods, slam them in the comment section as well, so that we can all improve together. And let me know how your language learning journey is going. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up so it helps spread the word and reach more people, and subscribe not to miss any new content. Thanks again so much for watching, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao ciao!